Sophia and Justice.
Hi.
Hi.
My name's Ashley from With Ashley & Co. and the Geek Girls Universe podcast. Thank you for taking time to chat with us today.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you guys.
So I'm a total D&D noob, and I had an absolute blast watching this movie. How familiar were you guys with it before you got involved? And if you were already familiar with it, then I have to ask about your characters, obviously, when you play at home.
Oh, you don't need to know
Sophia's played before. I've never played before. We did play as a cast though before we started shooting, which was really fun because we got to flesh out our characters even more. But Sophia, why don't you tell them what your character's name was?
Oh no.
In high school.
Do you think it's allowed? Am
Yeah,
I allowed?
It's inappropriate, so feel free to censor it as you need.
Okay, censor this if need be. My character was a rogue. My
Yes.
my character was called Vibrator. He was a boy who vibrates. That was all that he could do. And his oh god. His catchphrase was, "It's not a sex thing." And basically I had a really lot of fun playing that character because I got to like add this little extra table of just like kind of like his just like specifically like this his like kind of a spell slot kind of thing, but it was like with vibrating. So it was like each level he'd learn like a new he'd like learn to like make an imagery of himself or vibrate through walls at one point, you know. But like that would take up a lot of time, and you know, so it's kind of like how would that affect him? How would that would that be like would something happen afterwards, like you would like have a disadvantage on next rolls because he's tired, whatever, that kind of thing. So it was, it was fun to figure out. I didn't get to play a lot as him, so I wish, but I don't want to talk about him anymore. But yeah, I've played a little bit in high school.
Cool.
Yeah. What are the reactions? I can't look at them.
They're laughing.
Okay.
That's amazing. Thank you.
My name is Jana, and I'm with Whiskey and Sunshine, and I also co-host Geek Girls Universe podcast with Ashley. So I actually thought I was a D&D nerd in high school, but clearly, Sophia, you far outdo whatever craziness I did with my high school friends, which is fantastic. I love it. So this movie was filled with lots of Easter eggs for people who are fans of the lore, but obviously was super fun for people who knew nothing of D&D. What, obviously, like Thumbershot, and there's some other great Easter eggs, but do you guys have any favorites that were included in the movie?
I really liked the Tabaxi. I mean, I didn't know much about the D&D lore before shooting, but I got to spend 2 weeks in quarantine with these big D&D textbooks, so I learned so much about the universe, and it was really cool to see the Tabaxi realized. The Dragonborn beggar was really cool. The animatronics on this movie are phenomenal, as are the VFX, but the company that did the animatronics, Legacy, just put so much time into the details of these creatures, and it's amazing as an actor to be able to actually play off of something that's there instead of like a tennis ball or a man in a green suit. But yeah, Tabaxi and Dragonborn were my favorite.
My favorite character was my character.
What?
Well, I mean, like I always found tieflings to be really interesting.
Oh,
because
yeah.
it's like not just like a demon thing, but it's also like if they ever like it's like also almost like a genetic thing as well. And the way they wrote her, where she's because usually people make them like a in like the evil category, like like maybe lawful evil or something, or maybe even neutral. But she was like this a lawful good in order to because that made her kind of in order to go in a different direction, and it made her a really interesting character to play. And I always found tieflings to be really interesting. I've never played a tiefling, but so my character's my favorite character.
Crossed, we're gonna get like a cinematic universe out of this, so we're gonna pretend that we're putting it out there and it's gonna happen. Where would you like to see the adventures take your characters next?
I really want to be possessed by an evil entity.
You already
and
done that. Oh, not evil.
No,
entity,
not
no.
evil. I want to be possessed by an evil entity and become a villain.
Okay.
And then I have to be saved by my friends. But I'm like putting myself at the center of the story.
I like to have more screen. Just kidding.
More screen time?
More screen time.
Because all of her characters' screen time is in the form of animals.
Yeah.
She just wants to be in the movie, Sophia.
I want to be in the movie, and the next one.
You know what would be cool for
setting
your
a
character?
Low bar.
Hold on. You know what would be cool for your character?
What?
If you like change just like one limb of yours into
Yeah,
an animal limb.
yeah.
So then your face is on camera,
yeah.
but you have like an owlbear arm.
I have them like turn into like something like a owlbear arm or like even like a tentacle or
A
something.
tentacle,
and
yeah,
then I
that'd
don't
be
have to
cool.
do anything. I'll just stand there and they can do everything for
Yeah,
me
there you
and
go.
beat everyone up by putting my hand out.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
I also want to use my horns to headbutt somebody.
Yeah.
That's my goal for next time.
We had read somewhere that you had added some sign language into your spell choreography. Can you talk a little bit more about that and how that kind of came to be?
Sure, yeah. I worked with a choreographer on what I was going to do for the gestures. I don't like in movies when people just gesture vaguely, like fingers splayed in a direction and like they expect something to happen. I feel like that's lazy. So I really wanted to ground it in some form of... I just wanted to ground it in something. And I've been learning sign language for a while now. And so I would take the sign of the word that had to do with the intended action of the spell and morph it slightly to make it a little bit more spellcastery.
Do you have an example? Do you remember one?
Yeah, one that I did was for the fresh cut grass smell spell. The grass in sign language is this, or I think this is also grass, or this might be garden, I'm not sure. But I was like, this isn't spellcastery enough. So I took the word for garden, the sign for garden, which is, well, this is garden, which is grow, but 2 times. Or you can do like a grow box, which is garden. So I would go grow, and then I would like splay it out to the audience. And then I would say the word with it. So abralepek, and then
Wow.
yeah. But that's not even one of the cooler gestures. But that's how it's kind
I
of
remember
written
you
in
trying
sign
to figure out
This
the
one
for
is the coolest.
Yeah, that one's the coolest.
But that's not sign language. That's just cool.
Yeah.